Hello everyone, my name is Rajesh Kumar and I'm your DevOps, SRE, DevSecOps coach. I have close to 18 plus years of experience working in multiple MNCs around the globe and having in-depth knowledge of DevOps, SRE and DevSecOps. So I would like to introduce you one certification program in a DevOps, and that is we call it DevOps Certified Professional. Now this is a 2 months of program, 25 tools of DevOps you will learn, and apart from that you will also get the access to the LMS, lifetime access to the videos portal. It's a certification program, and you will have 25 assignments and 2 projects along with it. It's a completely weekend program, so here you have classes on Saturday and Sunday. So as part of this course, you will learn multiple things. Here you see that you will learn Linux, AWS, Docker, Jira, Confluence, Python, Git with GitHub, SonarQube, Maven, Gradle, Packer, Artifactory, Selenium, JMeter, Ansible, Kubernetes, Helm, Terraform, Jenkins, Datadog, Splunk, and Neuralink. Now, how do we, apply for this? So how can you reach out to us? So you have a WhatsApp number and email ID. So please reach out to us, and we'll help you to onboard this program. Apart from this DevOps certified professional programs, we are offering other certifications as well in a DevSecOps, SRE, and one of the very comprehensive programs which we have is in Master in DevOps Engineering. Yeah, so feel free to get in touch with us and then enroll for it. Thank you.
Okay, so now how do we set the conditioning in Python? So primarily we do that using three methods which you can see on the screen. Conditioning using singles if statement, or if else statement, or elif statement, which you also call it else if statement. Okay, so here look at this if statement. So if certain conditions, now if you remember that assignment operator which you can use certain conditions, and assignment operators always results in true and false, which we discussed in the previous session. And then you have a, if condition is true, then statement will execute. If it is false, then statement will not execute. Look at this simple one. These are the operators which we discussed already. Is equal to, not equal to, greater than, lesser than, and stuff like that. So here x and y, the value set with 7 and 5 is integer. And if x is greater than y, which is basically true, then it will print that statement, print x is greater. So this is the way you can specify the statement. You have to use the assignment of a comparison operator for that. Here we have a if else block. So if condition is true, then run the statement, else run another statement, which you can find the else block. Simple. Now there is a elif also. So here multiple, multiple else is there, which you can use it. So here if statement is true, then do this. If it is that true, then do that. Else do something else. That means last one. Okay. So that is the elif statement. Yeah. Now there is one more way which you call it a ternary operator. This is a little interesting. And here in ternary operator, you have statement, and if it's true, then if conditions, the statement will run. This statement which see will run if condition is true, else another statement runs. So here this is the way you can run the ternary operator, and so on. So example, look at this, number is equal to 5. If number is equal to 5, you have this, and else you have this. Truthy and falsy value also we use in Python. So here if you see that, this is the one of the way. Number is equal to 5. If number means if number is defined, then it's true. So then print this one, something like that. Truthy and falsy value also you can use it. Boolean and none also you can use it. So here Python course is equal to true. Now if you look at this, true is not a string, not a integer, it's nothing, but it's a Boolean. So here it can be true and false. F and T has to be in capital. So here, because it's true, that if Python course which is true, then this will execute. Something like that, you can do that. Not if also you can use it. If number is not equal to 5, this will not execute. If not, okay, Python course, so which is true, this will also not execute because are true here. So multiple ways we have which you can use it for doing that. Truth table, you have to be a little bit comfortable, and I assume that you are comfortable with it. You can also use multiple if conditions. So here if you see, if number is equal to 3 and here and he is being used in Python code. So two statements are there. So here truth value will be there if and or if false, all this stuff. So like this. This is also one way to specify the if statement in Python. Here this if A is greater than B, so set bigger else smaller. This is a ternary operator actually. So this is the way you can do that. So let me run some commands, so it will be easy for you to do that. So conditioning, and here let's use the first condition first. So look at this part here. You have used if condition in the for loop. I discussed the for loop, but here you are saying if I is equal to 5, which is here, then break the loop. So inside the condition you can put inside the loop also. Here very simple one. If true, okay, this is a this is basically unlimited one. So something like it's true. Print hello, a is equal to 5 is set. Here if true, print hello, and this you can write in one statement also. This is a formal ways to write it. If true, print true, else print false. Here it can be one statement, but right now directly you are setting up Boolean actually. Here if true, print else this one. So here true, true, then only it will do the rest of the statement. So now instead of true, here you can use assignment operator. So let's use some assignment operator. This is the good one. So here if you see that x is equal to 7, y is equal to 4, and z is equal to 2. So if x is greater than y, print this one. If x is here again, inside that if condition, there is a if conditions. So here first it will become a true. Is it true or not? So x is 7, y is 4, so of course true. Then it will run this, and then it will run this. And here x is equal to x is greater than z, which is true. Yes, then it will bring this one also. And again here you have same way, if else. So here nested if else, and so on. Are you understanding, all of you? All of you? Hello? Am I audible?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So now after understanding the conditions with Python, we'll get into the looping. So we call it operator iterators also. Okay. So that is also we can do, do that. So here, what are the options available? So we have while loop, we have a for loop, and so on. So let's discuss about the while loop first. Here you have while and then condition. If condition is true, then run, else move on to the next one. So this is the while loop. Example, x is equal to 0, which is value of it, and while x is less than 10. So here's always condition true until that 9th. So it will run 9 times. So here true, 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 and keep running it. If it's become false, this will keep running in the loop actually, running in the loop. So till that x is less than 10, you'll keep running. And if you see that here, in order to re-change the value, Here you are incrementing by 1, so it always increment by 1. So just to test this, this is the for loop. So here for var in iterable, this can be list here. So that many times it will run the loop and else statement. So here look at this. Here the student names is it can be list, and so number of elements will decide how many number of run it will do, and then each time the each element will be set the variable here name, and here print this is the uh, index each time it will run, and then print that stuff. Okay, so this is a simple code which you might have studied in college time, so this will also work. So infinite loop with this while always true, run this, and when it reaches to 40, break the loop. So in this way you do that. Dictionary, this is the one dictionary, and here you can, okay, there's some different data here. So that is the stuff. So let me show you the demo for this. So here look at this here, one of the example, there's in this, here you have multiple examples. So here you see range has been given 1 comma 11, that means 1 to 11, and here I is equal to first time 1, then I is equal to 2, like that, and here you're printing it, and here you are trying to break the loop. If I is equal to 5, if you reach to the fifth element, then break it. So let me run this. See, so, and if you move this break, then it will complete up to the 11 actually. Yeah, see, 1 to 10. So range is 1 to 10, and so why any idea why up to the 10 it run? Any idea?
Because it says in range, right? So in if should be
Index,
inside the room.
so index number is 11, element is 10 actually. So that is the stuff. Okay, so this is the index. Okay, so now this is the one example. In this page, I have put it multiple example. So you should try, just get comfortable. Habit will make you perfect. Here you have a fixed one, not range. Here you have a fixed element 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So here for X is a new variable in colors. So now first run it will set X is equal to red, second green, third blue, fourth yellow, and it's asking to break when it's blue, and print this. See, so red and green it, so while blue it break it, so it did not print it. Okay, so now here we have few more examples for while. Look at the while, this one. So here while is equal to x means it's true. That means if it is true, okay, then keep printing this one. So, and here if you see the reduced by 1, and here you are breaking if x is equal to 3, break this loop. So this is the way you can do it. Here few more things we have example, you can try it. Okay, so this is the condition and this is the loop. Now after that function. So this is something very important for us. So first question is why we are using function. Okay, so simple concept we have for the function. Function we use it, so something which you want to do on a repeat, some repeat things we do. So instead of writing a code in the repeat way, what we do, we write a function and we call that function, and if you want to pass the parameter to that, it will change the value. Okay, so function basically helps you to speed up the coding, others will keep writing the same functionality. And also there is one concept called code reusing. So function helps us to you know uh, help us to reuse the code rather than writing the same thing. So here we have so many functions. So built-in function is available, which you can find in the Python also. So here, if you look at this, what are the built-in function? For that, I have created one tutorial which I would like to show you. So very simple way to find out the built-in function. So Python list versus something like that. Yeah, in this one I ask you to read it for the interview preparation. This one. Okay, so these are the different types of function which you have to use it. But sorry, variable which you have to use it. But what are the functions we have? So what I did actually, I have one code. If you see that, I'll show you that. Just a second. Hold on. Here, list of function on list. Okay, so how do you know that function? So very simple techniques. If you want to remember that, it's a good. So this is the one list. Okay, and how do you know the list of supported function? So there is one function which is called dir, directory. So dir you can use with the any type, okay, and they'll give you the list of function. Wonderful, right? So here if you see that, here all this function which is available to the list, you will get it. Dir is one of the things. So you remember this, it will save your time. So here, and just I write it here. You see all this function which is available, directory of function and classes. Okay, so here these are the directly you can use it: append, clear, copy, count, extend. So same method I have tried to list out all the supported function for every variable type. So if you see that here, list of function for list, same code. If you go down, list of function for tuple, this is the tuple one example, and dir again you use this the one, and array here you have, and set here you have, like that. So find out the function, a built-in function this way. This will help your time. Okay, some of the function I discussed also, but built-in function. Now here you need to develop your own function also. That's called user-defined function. Okay, and there is one function which is called lambda function without a name, and recursion function. So four types of functions which we have in Python. Primarily you focus on one. One is a built-in one, and another one is user-defined function. So let's look at this here. How do we declare the function? So when you declare the function, you have def and the name of the function and arguments which is passed to this function. Okay, the arguments can be multiple arguments. It can be list of values. Mind it here, contain the list of values passed to this function. So you can pass it, and then a statement whatever you have, and every function should return some values. So that way it is easy to expect the return value all the time. Okay, so here one example for it. Look at this here. There's one function which is called def add. Name of the function is add. Define the function, and here you are passing the two variables arguments x and y. So x and y you will send it through the calling the function. Here not calling the function, this is the function, and here x and y will print on the screen, and then same time it will return the x plus y. Plus is a operators. So here you can understand that function, define the function, then function name, third arguments, fourth colon, remember that, end with a function definition, fifth function code, and then sixth return value. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
Great. So here let's try to write a function, our own function, so that way it will help us. So go to this page, and here you have it. So something related to function here. So copy this, open this, and let's try to create a function. So here what I'm trying to do, def sum, there is a two arguments, return a plus b. So this is this one, you please remember that in Python is a specific one. And now here you are calling the function with the two values 3 and 4. So first one, a is equal to 3, b is equal to 4, and if you run it, it will see 7. Okay, so simple one. Let's show you the little bit complicated also. This is the one little bit here. So look at it here. There is one function, very simple, and it print the hello functions. How do you call the function? So if you see that my function here is being called. So this is the 2 times actually. I'll just delete this. Okay, so here my function is just a call, no arguments. Okay, here. Now you can pass the arguments here. So you see that f name is arguments. So this f name here you are passing my function email Tobias, this one. So these are 3 times you are calling a function arguments, and every time it will print f name plus some more text they will append it and then print it. Okay, now here number of arguments, so here 1 and 2. So here you are calling two arguments. Fef name is email, L name is reference, and here you are printing this one and this one and adding some space in it. Okay, so let's run this here. Here it is. So now here hello from function. So if you see that here, it has come from here. Email Tobias. So here you see email refresh Tobias refresh Linus refresh, and here you have this 3 has come from that second call, and here you have this one and email refresh. So this is a simple program, but here it shows how can you call a function, how can you call a function with the different inputs arguments, and how can you call a multiple arguments. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes, sir.
So this is the one. So yeah, you can use this function and get going. Now anonymous function is basically without a name. So if you look at this here, there's a name actually. Name is my function. But in a lambda function, which you call it anonymous function also, you don't have a name of it. So that way, this function you can use it anytime without declaring it and stuff like that. So this is easy way to do that. So how do you do that? So look at this one example for it. This is the code. I'm typing it here. Now here it says my list 1, 5, 4, 6, 8, 11, 12. So this is the one list. Now what you are doing here, there is a one function you are creating, which is anonymous. That means there is no name for it. So what you did, lambda, you whenever you use the function anonymous function, you say lambda, and now this is your function code. Okay, and this is a whole function code. So what you are doing, hey, create a new list. So my list, create a new list, and here you are giving a list to filter from all this thing, where look at this here logic, where x is equal to x colon x by this is equal to 0, and this one whatever the value you do, you create in the all this. Basically here you are saying like take the entry from element from here, mod apply this mod 2, and if it is a 0, then store that list in this list and print here. So this here you don't have to pass every time. So now you can use it this way anytimes anywhere, and without giving reuse it every time without giving the name of it. So here if you see that in Python, we generally use an argument to higher order function, a function that takes other arguments as an argument. Lambda function are used along with the built-in function like filter, map, and so on. So here you can use one more example here, lambda function for this. Okay, so this is the lambda function, nameless function. This is also done. This is also done. This is also done. Now let's do the file handling. How do you do the file handling? And this is the most important one. So how do we do the file handling? So for that, we have to use this. Okay, so so Python file handling. So here, understand that the first file. What is file? So in Windows, we have different types of file, which is called images is a different file, text is a different file, executable is different file, audio file is different file. But in Linux, you have either file, text-based file, or binary. Only two things we have. So understand this way. So what can you do with the file? How can you handle the file in Python? So either you can read a file, or you can write a files, or you can close after writing it or reading it and open a file. Simple. It's like a normal procedure. In order to read a file, you have to open a file, right? And if you want to write it, you have to open a file and then write mode. If you want to close the file, which is read open file, any open file, you can close it and open it like this. So this is the way you can see that. So open a file, process the data, close the file. So now, in order to read a file, you have to open a file. In order to write a file, you have to open a file. If you want to open the file, you have to open a file and then close the file. This is the whole flow you have it. Okay, how do you do that? So look at this here. If you want to open up any file, the function name is used open, and the file name and what mode you want to open, you can define. So you want to read the file, or write a file, or append a file. These three modes you have it. So you look at this here, mode you have to specify. Read mode, R for read mode, A for append mode, W for write mode, and X for create mode. Just a second. Yeah, so these are the modes. So if you want to open up a file, you have to tell that, okay, what mode. Now read mode is a default mode. Okay, so when you open a file, read mode is default mode, append mode, write mode, and create mode you have to specify. Now types of file also you can specify. T represent for text file and B represent for binary file. Are you understanding, all of you? Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah. So now look at this here. These are the different method functions we have in Python: open, read, write, append, split, close, rename, remove. These are the functions which we have in the things. Okay, so I discuss this one. This is example for it. So f is an object which you will be creating from the function called open. Open here you have, and sorry, open is a class here. Okay, and here you are giving this class two things: path to file and then mode. Okay, so this is the path to file and mode: read, write, append, all this thing you can do that. So we discuss about the read for opening of reading, open for reading default, W for open for writing, X for open for exclusion creations, means executable, A for append, and B for binary mode, T for text mode, plus means open a disk file for uploading. So these are the things. This is example for it. How do we work for it? Look at, see, file here is a class object handle, and open, which basically is a class, which has a two arguments, name and W. Now here you are using F5, sorry, 5. So here look at this: for X in range 4, Okay, and here remember that file you are opening for the writing. So now you are taking input from the 4 times you will take an input. Name input, you will allow that user input using input function, enter name, and whatever the name you have got that here, this file dot write, which is here, file dot write, a name plus and separated by new line, you will insert in the file and then close the file. So this is the one of the way you can understand that how do we use for writing a file. Are you able to understand this, all of you? All of you? Hello? Hello? I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. So now I'll show you one example for this. So here, this tutorial, you can use it for trying the file operations, and I'll do that. So one by one, we'll have to do that. And now this image is a wonderful image actually. So if you see that, if you want to be mastered in the file operations, so here you see open and close, read, write, copy, move and delete, here file status. Lots of these are the functions and classes which you have, which you can use it. So some of the classes which I'm using, opening and closing here, this one, open and close. Okay, so now exit this. Okay, so now here let's use this one. So first thing, I'm going to write carefully. Here there's a, in this directory, if you see that, in this directory dot, there is no files actually, but what will be there here, you are opening out this file which is in current directory. X means executable mode. Okay, so executable mode will create a file called, if it is not exist, it will create a file. So here now after that you have a file which is, it will try to open the same directory and read only, which is not exist. Okay, so let's see that what happens. So clear the screen. And here you see, here first file which has open and there's no complaint, but if you see that next file is line number 5, you have a complaint because that file is not available. Okay, so this way, let me see if the file got created or not. See that my file, which is the first line here, it got created. So now if I say put the same name and then try, see here, just a second, hold on. So it's executable, file exists, my file. Okay, so what is happening here, because this file uh, will create it here, the now problem is line number 2 only, this third, because that file is already exist, you are not able to create the file, so that's creation problem is there. So now you can remove this lines, job is done for that creating, and now let's see, file is empty, so did not report it. So this way here you can create a file. This is the example for it. You can create a file called this one. Here you have same example. If you want to open a file on the server, then you can use this one. You can open a file on a different locations. This is the one you see, a path is given, and create a new file if does not exist. So this will create a file again. Open a file demo.txt and append content for this. So look at this here. Let's this one. So here first thing, I want to create a file. So here it will open a file, this one, and try to open mode and add this content and close it. but this file is not created. So what I'll do, I'll create a file using this method. Okay, and I'll create a file, and name of the file will be same. So here I'm creating a file, then opening a file and writing it. So let's see that. Close, and let's check in the file. Now you open a file, you can read the file also. So let me manually read this here. See, so this way. So again, I'll delete this file. And now what I'm trying to do, here open a file, append the file, and then read the file. For reading the file, what you do, this one. Okay. So here, open a file again, same file, and this time you are reading it here. So see here, you read it. So first open a file, write it, append, and then read it. So this is the way you can do that. So this has all this example. If you see that, all example, which will help you to, work with the file operations. File operation is very easy, very important in Python, and using that, you will do most of the activities. So here one more example, JSON based file. Here you have. So few examples are there. Did you understand, all of you?
Yes.
All of you. Okay. So after this, you have to just a second. You have to also spend time with operation oops concept. Oops concept. So what is oops concept? Fundamentally, I think some of you must be knowing about it, but if not, I'll just discuss about it. Yeah. So here, so in order to understand the oops concept, we have to understand that class. Then how do we create a object from the class? When you instantiate object, sorry, class, you get an object, you can get as many objects. So here you have to create a class. You are the creator now, and you are creating a class. So here you have a class, you get a multiple objects. We are also class, right? So class, who's defined the human class? God. So like that, in a program, you will define the class for your software. You are a software god for your software. So you'll define the multiple class, and this class, once someone instantiate it, give the energy, and then create an object. So here you car is a class, multiple different types of car is object. Here girls is a class, multiple different types of girl is object. Boy is a class, and different types of boys is a class object. So this is the image, I think, if you remember, you have studied in your engineering colleges also. Remember that, this image, all of you? Hello? Hello? I'm audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah. So this is the class. So now each class you can define certain property. For example, I am the object. Okay, object of what? Human. I mean men, right? So every man, they're saying they should be having two hands, two eyes, one head, like that, two leg, something like that. So here these are the property you define. So when you define the class, you can define the property: integer, roll number, name, set role, display role, set name. This is the property you define, and this is the function you define, method. That means I can walk, I can talk, I can run. So these are the function. But properties means two eyes, one nose, right? All these things. So same way you can define a class, define a property, define a function to do that. And then once anyone instantiate a class, that objects will do the same thing, just like Mary, Ram, and John. So here same way. So more or less we understand the concept of class and object. So how do we define the class? That is a question. So you define a class using the line which you see, class and student and colon, remember. So for function you define def, for the class you define the class itself. So And then after that, if you want to instantiate a class, means you want to create a new student, so you student is equal to one object, and here student S capital is a class. So that is how you create an instance of student class. Okay, so now if you look at this here, in the Python class, you have a constructor. Okay, constructor which basically helps you to initialize the object. Okay, so constructor are generally used for instantiating an object. That means you have a class, you want to create object. Okay, as many objects you want to create, and for that you required constructor. Okay, so the task of constructor is to initialize, assign values, whatever you define here in the class. Look at this here, this one, whatever you define. Okay, assign values to the data member of the class. Okay, and when object of the class is created, and in Python the init method is called the constructor. Remember that. So every time when you define a class, okay, and if you want to assign the values to the data members, the objects, then you have to call the init method. If you are not doing it, then it will not be assigning the values to that. So init method is called the constructor, and always called when an object is created. So that's called default constructor. Okay, so default constructor is simple constructor which does not accept any arguments, and here its definition has only one argument, which is a reference to the instance being constructed. But this the init is a default one. Okay, whereas you can have a more constructor also, parameterized constructor. Constructor where with the parameter is known as parameterized constructor. The parameterized constructor take its first argument as a reference to the instance being constructed, known as self, and rest of the arguments are provided by the programmers. So look at this here. Here this is the class, example of the class, and how this you get one objects. My object is equal to example class, how is being created. So first what happens, we can you can pass a parameter. Right now it's not pass any parameter to initialize the variable, and here you have a one new constructor and then init constructor. Now whenever you call that and create object, this whole things happen. So here uh, object is created using new function, and then object is initialized using init function. So what is a created and initialized? So creation means you are creating it uh, but not running it. When you say initialize means you are running it also. So that way you can consider. So parameters are passed onto the init method to initialize the created object, and object is ready. So without initialization, objects are not ready. So this is what happens when you create a object from the class. Now how can you create a class? Look at this example here. I'll show you the examples through this. Easy here. So one example I'll give it to you, simple one. Okay, look at this here. This is the class. I missed this CLA class. Yeah, so this is the one class. Okay, I defined it. So here class car, and here you are defining, okay, what are the attributes you can have it. So here one attribute to define, wheels should be 4. Okay, that's a one class. Now for example, if you define the human class, you will say hand is equal to 2, eye is equal to 2, leg is equal to 2, like that. Okay, and then what he should do, that is a function. So for example, I can walk, talk, run, all these things function. So let's say you here you have some functions, one function, two function. Now this function, you know that it's a constructor. Without that, it will not be able to create a objects. Okay, now if you see a little bit carefully, here they're accepting the few parameters and they're re-initializing self, and then more functions you have here and here. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, so now if you see that here printing that, and here again, it's not printing anything, but it's setting something, change color. You are setting the something for this. Uh, for example, I can run, I can talk, but what should I talk? That you are changing the property of it. So like this. Now, how do we call this function class? So here C is object. From object from which car is a class which is defined here, and you're passing the two arguments, black and seeded. So if you see that self color is equal to black, style is equal to seeded. So this is instantiated one class, one object, sorry. And the property is self dot color will be color, style will be style, so which is coming here, that means color will be black and style will be sedan. So this is the one object you created. After that, here you are asking, hey, display the color and style. So if you run this one, okay, and then after that one object is created, and c dot show description, which is here, then it will show black and sedan because you passed it. That's a default value. Now you are overriding it value here in the call method 2. Here saying, hey, make it change color white. You're overriding the value. For example, my color is red, I mean white, and you are saying, hey, convert into the black or something like that. So same way, the color was black for the car, but here you are overriding it. So again, it will call, and it will become, so color will become white again. So you are changing the property of this, is called overriding in class. And then again you are showing, and this time it will be white and sedan. Now this is how you create the object, and you call the functions of the, you know, object. So see here, you change this color, and then again you use it, and after that, once your uses is done, you can delete the that attributes which you created, okay, and then delete an objects. Are you understanding, all of you? Hello? Yeah. So let me run this. Sorry, I think I did not save it. See you. So first time black, second time sedan. After that, deleted and attribute. So if you do not delete, it will hold in the memories, and your memories will be utilized. So this is called memory leak actually. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, so now what next? So now you have understood that how to learn any programming language, in this case Python. Now how do we use this programming language? So here basically when you plan for, if I'll give you some assignment, so what you need to do, I'll put it in this way. So first you define a class, and the class you define a function, function 1, function function 1, function 2, each function. I mean, this is a program structure you plan for in your mind and document it properly. Function 1, function 2, function 3. Now, typically, you know what will the kind of function. So one function will be something like a create. We call it a CRUD. Second function, you will have it for read. Okay, I'm telling you this idea. It's a common framework. So it's a read. And then here you have update or edit function. And then here you have a delete function. Okay, so now it can be anything also, but in a simple way. Class, you have created a multiple function, and now you call this objects dot create, objects dot read, objects dot edit, objects dot delete, and then inside that create function you have whatever the logic, if do this, okay, else do this. Now you'll say you are running only one time, so you are running one time. So now if you run multiple times, for 1 to 10, whatever you want to give it, 10 times you are on to run it. If do this, else do this, and inside do this all your operators which you learn, variable and all whatever operators work, plus minus, and this that and all stuff, you can use it. Are you understanding, all of you? Hello? Hello. Yeah. So now I'll give you some assignment. For that, you have to write a code for me. I would suggest you don't copy the code from the Google because you may find, for example, disk cleanup. Okay. So I'll give you one code for disk cleanup. So what you'll have to do, first you have to read all files from this location, opt file or something like that, folder. And then after that, check the timestamp, something like that. Check the timestamp of the file, and if condition file uh, created date is greater than, let's say, 1 week or something like that, delete it. Very simple. And if not, uh, else uh, this is cleaned up, this is already cleaned up or something like that, some message. I'm just giving you logic. Now if you want to run for each files, so you have to run in the for and for list of number of files. So this is the logic, kind of logic you will develop and write a script and then do it.
If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest.
Thanks for watching.